how are you? Mike here from The Wellness Bucket. Thank you for joining me for another More with Mike episode. I'm excited you guys are here and excited to dive in. So let's go ahead and jump into this week's message. And what are we talking about today? Well, what we're talking about is picking a exercise routine, or picking exercise that's specific, that's right for your different age, right? I get that all the time. Hey Mike, I'm X years old. What exercises should I be doing that are beneficial, that won't hurt me, that I'm still gonna get benefit from a muscle standpoint, from stability, from strength, etc. So there's really not like a defined system in place. So I've done my best to create one that I think anyone, including you guys, can follow when it comes to figuring out, hey, what exercises, what should I be focusing on depending on my age? So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. So there's 4 different categories we'll look at, okay? So number 1, we're going to look at from ages 0 to 19 years old. We're going to call that the development stage. So development stage. So we'll call that the development stage. Usually through ages 0 to 19, our body, we're taking on different sports, different hobbies. Our body is just developing, coming into its own, and just from a muscle standpoint, from an endurance standpoint, aerobic, etc. Our body's just kind of coming into its own, figuring out, hey, this is what it likes, this is how it rolls, this is what it does. I mean, we can even carry that sometimes even into the ages of 22 into college, if you play college sports. So, but for the most part, let's just call it 0 to 19 years old. Different sports, different hobbies, kind of getting your feet wet as far as what the body likes and how it takes the different exercises and stimulus, all right? So we'll call that the development stage. Then from 20 to 29, I call this 20 to 29 years old. I'm going to call this the muscle up stage. So muscle up, if you're going to make a push, your gains, and really go after the body where it can actually give more back and it's resilient, where it can take kind of some of the aggressive nature, you might want to go after it. Especially, I can speak for myself included, when I really went after it, heavy weightlifting, throwing weight around, like I was the Hulk in the gym. It was this time zone, because your body has a little bit more, it has a lot more to give right around this age bracket. So if you're going to muscle up and really go for it as far as making some gains from a muscular standpoint, I would say between 20 and 29, we'll call it the muscle up stage. This is when you can really push and go after it from a muscle building standpoint, 20 to 29. Okay, well, what's next? Next, we would call it 30 to 39 years old. We're going to call this the lean up stage. So we'll call it the lean up stage, guys. So this is more when we're not so much going after like really muscle building, but more so taking the muscle that we've already developed from 20 to 29 and really working with that, what we already have, to lean that up. So guys, those big weightlifting belts that you put on at the gym and throwing the weight around, you can probably come to this age range, you can probably leave that at home, because if we go too aggressive usually during this stage, we're usually setting ourselves up for injury and setbacks. So we definitely don't want that. So between 30 and 39, I call it the lean up stage. Let's take the muscle we've developed here and really work with that. So versus trying to put on more, let's work with what we have. And then lastly, I'm just going to call it from 40 plus, we're going to call the maintenance stage. So maintenance stage is more just, hey, taking what you've done, taking what you've created in the 40 years, and actually just working with that, keeping that, maintaining. Because as we know, the aging process, the body kind of wants to start to break down from a muscle standpoint, stability, endurance standpoint. We just literally want to take what we've worked hard to create over the first 40 years and then maintain that. So let me give you an example of what some of these will look like. So from a muscle up perspective, I always think of muscle up perspective as in, hey, heavy weightlifting, even CrossFit can sometimes go more in terms of 20, 29, this stage here, because the body is able to, it's more resilient during that time. It can take a little bit more of that push. When we start getting into the 30 to 39 range, or that stage, I would say let's lean more towards the HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, even some of your running groups where it's not so aggressive. And then 40 plus, I would always say, less weight, more reps. Even some things like yoga and Pilates, where we can actually just take what we've created here and just maintain it. So that's generally, a guideline as far as, what exercises, how to go about picking the right exercises depending on your age range or how old you are. And the biggie that I would say, one more, guys, is these two right here. When it comes to this, what we really want to focus on when it comes to those two stages is this here, is the wellness part of it all, right? I mean, you always want to do that with all four, but for definitely from 30 to 39 and 40 on, wellness. And when I say wellness, is really doing the things to take care of the body, the sleep, the stretching, the hot baths, the vitamins, doing the things that we need to do to recover the body. Because, like I said, it's much more resilient here, and it can take a little bit more of a beating, whether it's a good thing or not. But when we get later down here, there's more of a chance for injury and the body not to like what we're doing to it. So let's not think, we can do what we did in high school down over here. The body's not going to like that. So let's really focus on these two stages, guys. If you're finding some of these two, on the wellness component. And we can even look at this from an athletic standpoint. Athletes, right? At the beginning of their careers, they're usually gung-ho, throwing themselves all over the field, catching balls. NBA, diving into the stands. They get a little older, you don't find them doing that as much because they're more focused on, hey man, I need to maintain, what I've worked hard for up here. I need to be careful down here and really focus on working smarter, not necessarily harder, guys. So that's this week's message. And if you guys recall, I want to start taking some questions from you guys that you send in and answering them here. So hopefully it can help you guys as well as the person that reached out to me. So this week's question is, hi Mike, based on clients you've worked with and the ones that have seen the most success when it comes to weight loss, I'm curious, what diet do you feel works best? And that's a really good question, and let's talk about that. The diet that I feel works best, and it's kind of a trick answer, is the one you follow through on completely. So if you're on a 90-day, whatever kind of diet you're following, stick to that one diet 100%. So the best diet you can follow to lose the weight, to have success with, is the one that you've committed to. We have to follow it through. And I always say focus on that one plan that you have chosen to follow. And by focus, it's follow one course until success. We can't say, hey, I'm going to follow the PX90 diet, and all of a sudden you have a friend following another diet, and then you're following that one. And then you like another friend's diet, and you're following a little bit of that one. We can't do that. So we have to take whatever plan we are following and following that to a T. Focus on one plan. Follow one course until success. Not sure if you were part of my newsletter, but if you were, this past Friday I actually submitted a 45-day plan as far as helping you over 45 days to lose weight and actually get the best shape you possibly can before the summer. So if you weren't a part of that newsletter that I sent out, please subscribe to my newsletter. I'll also link below to where you can actually get that information that I sent out on Friday, and hopefully that helps you. So again, guys, that's this week's message. Hope it helps. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week ahead. If I can help you in any way, reach out to me anytime. It's mike@thewellnessbucket.com. Have a phenomenal week, and until next Monday, cheers.